Hello good yo-yo people, I'm Nate and this is Let's Talk Yo-Yo. Today I am reviewing the Dragon by Dragon Strings YoYo Company. This is my review of the Dragon. Alright, this is the in the hand section where I'll go over all the sort of the shape and the specs and that sort of thing. I won't have them listed here. If you're familiar with my videos, you'll see all the specs in the description box, so check that out. You'll find information about myself as well and my sponsor, Squared YoYos. Speaking of, this Elite shirt is probably high up on my favorite shirt right now list. And it's fantastic. You can get one very much like it. I don't know if the exact same one is on the store right now, but there's some awesome apparel on the Squared YoYos website, so definitely check that out if you've never checked that out. So shout out for that. Awesome shirt, super soft. They wear in well. I've had some of these shirts for a long time, many washes, and they handle really well. So quality is there, and it's a good shirt, good design. Anyways, to the yo-yo. So Dragon Strings, this is their first yo-yo. Well, actually, technically, this will be their second yo-yo. All right, so, but this is the first design that they did. This is actually going to be a signature yo-yo. I'm not sure which one of their players. Michael Moore, you know, who's well known for his documentaries. You know, different guy. Anyways. Whatever. Anyways, he's the owner of Dragon Strings, and he's sort of revamping and rebranding the whole company, so it's not going to be just strings. And this is actually also my first experience with their strings. He sent over a pack of strings, all these sort of orange-ish to kind of go along with the orange and black ano on this one, so they match really well. Anyway, so high-quality strings he's been making for a while. But this is his first debut into metal yo-yos. And so, like I said, this will be the second release technically, but this is their first prototype. All right, so they wanted to release a signature yo-yo, not as like the right out of the gate. They wanted to release something that was kind of for everybody, and at least that's what I'm assuming. And so now we're going to take a look at this one because this is not just a review, but just kind of a glimpse of where maybe they're going to be going as a company as far as metal yo-yos are concerned, and sort of their approach to all that. So this is not just like about this yo-yo, which I think we'll talk about for sure, but also about their approach to making yo-yos. They're not the first string company to do that. Toxic Strings, I remember, for instance, they aren't really around anymore, but they did that as well. They were making strings for a while, and then the owner decided, hey, I'm going to start making some yo-yos, and they put out a couple. Let's talk about the shape a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and play it and all that. So it's I would classify this as an H-shape yo-yo, very competition-driven, nice wide gap on it, lots of rim weight just from the feel of it. It does have a really nice, you know, decent blast on it. Ano's really solid. It just has this nice splash orange, kind of reminds me of like a Halloween yo-yo, you know. The string also that came with them, I threw on this one in particular, but a lot of the strings that came in the pack that he sent me are on this sort of orange and black and white and that sort of Halloween sort of theme. So really cool, really nice string. I'm not going to review that right now, but really nice string. So if you're looking for quality boutique string, definitely check out some Dragon String. If you're like me and you like to try a little bit of everything, I don't know why I haven't jumped on them before, but I'm glad that he sent some over so I could try them as well. But that might be a separate review. So it is an H-shaped yo-yo, nice wide gap. One of the things, it is a prototype, so keep that in mind. So some of the things that I'm going to talk about that I feel like could have used like just a little tweaking or improvement, they're actually already in the process of that. One of the things that he mentioned in the letter to me is that one of the things they're going to adapt is the gap. I would say that the wall is a little bit too high for this. It needs either rounded out or something like that, and so something simple like that will really improve the overall spin time, especially of this yo-yo. So anyways, that's one thing they're going to be working on. So won't really criticize that much because they know they need to work on it. One of the things I really like about the design of this is the hub design has a really nice finger spin hub where it's going to be very easy to hit. It's going to be quickly centering, where it's not just simply a dimple there on like a flat surface. It's going to go right in there. Kind of reminds me a little bit of how you, like if you've played a Skyva, where it's sort of like has sort of a handicap there for you. So overall, I really like the design. I think this is going to be a really good competition-driven yo-yo. Again, they're going to be their second release. And so what's kind of cool too is you see that like Dragon has like a perspective. They have a goal in mind. They're not just going out and don't have a plan. They have a plan. Let's go ahead and play it and see how it actually plays on the string. All right, welcome back to the On the String section with the Dragon by Dragon Strings YoYo Company. So it is a prototype, and a lot of prototypes, they haven't got the, you know, the smoothness yet that they will maybe on their full production. But this yo-yo is dead smooth. It is a A-grade smoothness that you would expect from something that maybe isn't a prototype. It is an H-shaped yo-yo, so the catches are pretty decent. You know, they're not crazy, like crazy comfortable. It's not like maybe an organic, but it's not that bad. Those edges, you know, they're not horrible. It's wide enough on the yo-yo that the gap is wide enough on there that the catches really aren't that bad. I feel like if it was a little narrower, those edges might kind of dig in a little bit on a harder throw. But it's really not that bad on a catch, pretty smooth. I think it's a very solid first design. It has a nice feel to it. It's not sluggish by any means. It's an overall decent competition-driven yo-yo. And I do think that gap's gonna need some work on it, kind of rounding it out. There's a little bit more drag than there probably needs to be, especially if you're throwing, you know, horizontal type tricks. But it's really not that bad. You know, the weight distribution is really decent, and it's very heavily rim weighted, and so it is going to keep the plane even for, you know, tricks that are more horizontal. And so really decent. I talked about the finger spin hub on that, and that it's really easy. See, like I didn't even lock it in immediately. It kind of just hit the edge there, and then it sort of pulled itself in. Very similar, like I said, to the Skyva and how that feels if you're familiar with that yo-yo. And has a very similar kind of feel to that. So yeah, you could spin for days on that. So yeah, really nice. That's a very satisfying trick. I think it does check off a lot of the boxes that you would have for a competition-driven yo-yo. It's very well balanced. Let's see how it does for rejections, for instance. Let's see if that's good for that. I think that gap, changing that gap out just a little bit, rounding out those edges, the wall's a little bit high right now. I think that will improve on rejections. So yeah, it's not amazing at rejections right now, and I think a lot of that has to do with the gap on there. But again, that's something that's going to be fixed through the prototyping. That's why you prototype yo-yos. Normally you don't get it right the first time, and that's fine. The blast on this is really nice, and the shape in general is going to be really nice for grinds. So you can be able to pull off some really nice long grinds. All right, let's go ahead and throw a trick, and then we'll have some last minute remarks. All right, that's more of a part of a trick. Some elements I've been working on, but that's just the first part. I kept messing it up, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's going to be good enough for today. All right, anyways, I really do like this string, as I just got a knot, but I really do like this string. Like I said, I'm not doing a review right now, but man, I tell you what, this string holds tension for days. It's not the softest string, in my opinion, for what I typically like, but you know, I still got actually a decent amount of spool thread left. And that's still my go-to string, even though he's not making it anymore. Shout out, Ed. Still, lots of respect still, buddy. But anyways, so it's not the softest string in the world, but man, it does have some really solid tension that stays there for a long time. So really competition-driven string. All right, so last minute remarks. The other thing is I would say that it's really nice and nimble. Has a nice light feel to it. You could really zip it through tricks. It doesn't necessarily have, I think, as long as spin times as it probably will in the final production, taking a little bit off of that center weight and might help a little bit. But I think it could just have a little weight distribution moved around a little bit to give you a little bit more spin times. Maybe a little bit more rim weight. I'm not sure what might fix that. So anyways, I'm not a designer, but I do think that it could use a little bit more spin time to check off that box for competition-driven perfection. That's going to do it for my review of the Dragon prototype by Dragon Strings YoYo Company. And as usual, good day and good yo-yo.